we're continuing our series on the restaurants deemed worthy of 5 stars from the Boston Globe with Ostra. The Back Bay Mediterranean seafood restaurant offers dining that the Globe describes as, quote, elegant and lively. The sophisticated seafood restaurant the city requires. I required it Sunday night when I went. The menu includes salmon tartare, salt-crusted branzino, paella valenciana, I hope I got the right style, and of course, perfect oysters. I'm joined by Ostra's chef owner, Jamie Mammano, who's not a new kid in town with legendary spots like Mistral, Sorolina, and Moo. I think there are 3 of them now on his resume. Jamie, it's great to see you.
Great to be here. Thanks for having us.
Pleasure. The first 2 5-star restaurants, I had the owners in. Cassie Puma from Sarma, and
fabulous.
Rachel Miller from Lynn's Nightshade Noodle Bar, both first-time restaurant owners. Not for you. 25 years ago, Mistral. How's the industry different today from when it was when you opened that place?
Let's see. Certainly much more challenging post-COVID. You know, a lot of exodus from the industry, but you know, we've been very fortunate. We've built a team over the 25 years that we've been very fortunate to keep a vast majority. So I think we're luckier than most. I think we just fell in a good spot there.
Now, a friend of mine told me you got your start at this place called Maidstone Country Club in East Hampton, making omelets on the beach. And that guy who told me said that Maidstone makes the country club in Brookline look like Canopy Lake Park. So is that a fair description of?
I wouldn't go that far, but they're both incredible spots. But yes, I worked there. I went to high school in East Hampton, New York, and worked there one summer making omelets on the beach.
And when you're doing that on the beach, are you saying to yourself, this is the right thing? I don't mean the omelet making, but the food thing is what I should be doing with myself. Was that the inspiration, or was it something else?
Actually, I know I was going to be a chef prior to that. I started washing dishes when I was 15, so at that point, I never left the kitchen. So don't ask me to do anything else besides cook or be working in the kitchen. I'd be lost. I'd be certainly unable to do anything else.
Okay, so Mistral Moo, best steak I've had in Boston, by the way, too. We're not talking about that tonight.
Thank you.
Ostra, it's not exactly casual dining in a time of casual dining. So what's the common thread through all of the Mammano places, spots?
Let's see. We just wanted to open the best we possibly could of each one of the concepts. And that's as simple as that. My business partner, Paul Rife, is a real estate developer, and we've worked together for 25 years. And it's very, very high attention to detail, and we want to open the best of the best. And we just try to do that.
Speaking of best of the best, someone told me your motto is perfect will be just fine. Thank you. Is that correct?
That is correct.
What does that mean? Is it as obvious as it sounds on the surface?
Pretty much. Let's do the best we can without screwing it up.
Are you tough?
I've become a little bit of soft. I used to be a little more criminal when in the kitchen, but I'm okay now.
So, like, have you watched The Bear? Like everybody, have you watched?
I have.
The Bear? Were you when you were young and irresponsible?
Probably when I was probably in my early 20s.
But you've mellowed a lot in the later.
Yeah, kind of no choice.
Okay, fine. Can we eat a little bit?
Of course we can.
Okay, now Joanne Chang used to work for you. Is that correct?
She was the opening pastry chef for Mistral. Yes.
Do you think she had any potential then, or not really?
Oh, she was fabulous, and she told me 22 years ago. She goes, "Chef, I'm going to leave." I said, "Oh no, really?" And she goes, "Yeah, I'm going to open this little bakery on Washington Street." I said, "Oh, let's go take a look at it." She said, "You're crazy. It's a terrible location. Forget about it." I was like, I felt bad for her. I was like, "Oh, Joe, whatever you want to do, go ahead and do it."
Whatever happened to her, by the way?
She became the most successful pastry baker in North America, and a dozen or 10 flour bakeries. And every time I see Joanne, I say, "Just yes, Joe."
Not a bad husband either. So her...
He's tolerable.
She says work backwards at the meal. That is a dessert, correct?
That's what you walk into flour baker, says eat dessert first.
Okay, so what's that thing?
That is an egg meringue filled with lemon curd with a basil sauce, fresh raspberries. You may.
I may?
Yes.
And oops.
She shatters. You got to get the lemon stuff in there.
I got it. I'm getting there. Hold on. So while I'm doing this... Oh, my God. What's the green stuff?
Basil. Basil syrup, yes.
That is unbelievable. By the way, one of the things I really liked when I was there Sunday night, I don't know if it's a big deal, having olive oil and butter, not either or, is a big deal to a consumer like me.
Well, we don't have to spend the time. Hey, I like my butter out of my olive oil. Just get it out of the way early. Just do both.
Okay. So, by the way, I was going to ask you about that. I was instructed by my coworkers to look at this and don't even come close to touching it. So, what is it exactly?
That is a whole bass, Mediterranean bass, bacon and salt crust. Takes about 50 minutes. You order it. We assemble it to order. We bring it out to the table 55 minutes later, whole fillet, and we break it. We break it apart table side. We fillet the fish, Goes on a plate, olive oil, lemon,
my God.
herbs. It's delicious.
What I'm not going to do, if I were to violate the edict from my coworkers, then what would happen to me?
I mean, the salt might kill you if you eat that much salt, but I would
Other
avoid.
than that, it'd be fine.
Yes.
Well, what I am allowed to eat is, what is this thing here?
That is a bass tartare.
Okay, can I try that?
Of course you can.
Okay, can I just do it with a fork?
You can do whatever you wish.
Well,
You're the boss.
Would you like
do
me to
whatever
do
you
it with
wish.
it?
You're the boss.
But are you going to talk about me when you go home if I eat it with a fork?
No, not at all.
Oh, fine. Okay, I'm going to try this. Tell me what it is one more time.
That is a freshly cut bass.
Oh, my God.
You make a fresh truffle aioli
Oh,
and just toss it, and fresh truffles on top. Fancy fish tartare.
I made that at home last night. It was fabulous, by the way.
Can't be as good as that.
I didn't make it at home last night.
no.
Now, I don't want to make you feel bad. This is all, it really is spectacular.
Nothing you say make me feel
The
bad.
thing, oh yeah, I think it will. The thing, I was a little upset. I really like smoked salmon, like big time. And I was
we've got a good
little
one.
You have one here?
We do.
You do. Look who's here, Hoshang, who is, I believe,
Hoshang
the general
Dadris,
manager.
the big kahuna.
How are you,
runs the
Hoshang?
show.
Nice to
How are
see
you?
you.
Nice to
Thank
see
you for
you.
coming.
Of course.
Pleasure.
Thanks
What
for
is that
having us.
thing?
This is our salmon tartare, smoked to order. We have
Oh my God.
creme fraiche and Siberian Reserve caviar for you.
That is
right on
gorgeous. Am I supposed to dip one
That's
of those babies?
the toasted brioche.
Would you mind
yes.
handing me the thing, or what's that
Not at all.
deal? Thank
By all
you.
means, please.
I mean,
that's
thank
his
you.
job.
Thank
I'm the
you.
back of the house guy, but that's fine. That's his job.
Okay, so I take this and I
I'd fork it.
fork onto
I'd
my
fork
thing.
it, the caviar, get a little caviar.
Fork it. Okay, I'm forking it like this.
Fork it, yes.
Fork it onto
Fork
this.
it on that, yep.
How is he to work for, by the way, Hoshang? How is he
Nice.
to work for?
You're
He's
on
great.
camera.
He is?
He's great.
Is he
Exactly
nice?
what he
hesitation in
said.
his voice.
Excuse me, am I talking to him or am I
Sorry,
talking
my
to you?
apologies. Go ahead.
Is he, how is he to work for?
He's
It's
he
a
helps.
long pause, my friend.
No, what I love about it is,
What is it?
perfect will be just fine. Makes everybody else pursue that too. So
I don't know
It's
if you
great
know
to work for.
perfect will be just fine, thank you. You ever heard that before?
a lot.
I had a feeling you did.
It's
Can I
in
try
the
this while
kitchen
you
at
two are
Ostra.
talking?
Yes, of course.
Oh, that is just
It's good.
unbelievable.
good.
The smoking deal and the whole kind of thing. You know, the service, I was there, I'm sorry with my mouth
No,
full.
of course.
But I was there Sunday night, and I was saying to Jamie before we started, I think I'm like most customers. You want staff to be attentive, but not too attentive. And you really do reach that perfect balance. I assume that comes from you.
I think it comes from the ownership. But yeah, we try to go, there's a fine line between professionalism and friendly, and I think the staff has learned to walk that line really well.
How long have you been there?
At Ostra, 5 years. But
And
the
you were with him
company
before, summer before?
Yeah, 16 years actually.
That's amazing.
Started at Teatro.
You did?
Yeah,
But this is really just, what?
Wow, really?
16 years. Jeff.
Can you have that conversation somewhere else after the show?
Sorry, yes, I gotta
Because
get
we're
ready.
sort of doing this here. So you don't have to go away, Hoshang. Thank you for coming in.
Of course.
I was going to ask you what your next act is, but my understanding is your next act, which is odd considering chips is what I understand. Is that the next thing for you?
That's not next. We've been doing it for 11 years.
And what are they called again?
Menina tortilla chips.
But I'm told by a friend of yours, again, that they're about to explode on the scene. What makes them different from what came before?
Well, nothing came before. We just got involved with it about 11 years ago. We opened a tortilla bakery at Feld in Chelsea, and we decided day-old tortillas. We cut them up, fried them, and we brought them to Whole Foods about 8 years ago. They started buying them. Now we're national.
But why are they better than the rest, I guess, is for those of
We
us
make
who
them
like chips?
because we didn't know any better. We just made them like we thought they were supposed to be made, and apparently it's the most very expensive way to do it, and we do it the way they made them, I guess, in Mexico 200 years ago.
How are the chips?
Delicious.
Would you say that if he wasn't here?
Of course.
Unbelievable. Well, congratulations
He's
on your fives.
boy.
He is a good guy?
He's pretty good.
Yeah, he dresses pretty
Yeah,
nicely,
one
too, if you
reason.
know what I mean. Hoshang, thank you for
Pleasure
bringing the
meeting you.
smoked
Thank you
salmon.
so much.
Jamie, congratulations
Thank you, sir. I really
on
appreciate
5
it.
stars.
Thank you very much.
Good guy and great restaurants. Jamie Mammano.